there are a lot of ways to come at innovation, right? Whether it be like tuck-in acquisitions, whether it be mergers, whether it be traditional venture partnerships. What is it specifically about studios that has kind of been most interesting and kind of brought the most horsepower as you guys think about internal innovation?
You go ahead. Okay. So we had our first experience working with a venture studio, and honestly, they're not fully a venture studio yet. So it was a digital research and kind of digital development firm out of New York that we worked with. We met them. I met them in January 2020. We started our first kind of sprint with them in March 2020, and then everything shut down. And the reason that we had hired them was really to say, from a small commercial perspective, we don't really do much intentionally. And a lot of that is shifting towards a data-driven, technology-driven model. Certainly from a delivery perspective, on the back end from a claims perspective, we're not nailing it. And so because our bread and butter is really more complex, bespoke risks, the small commercial piece, even though we do $1 billion annually, was starting to bleed. And so we hired a firm and said, you know, we need to be more intentional about this. And every idea that's been sourced at our firm has been internal, right? We think we should do this. We think we should do that. There's, you know, feedback that are very disparate and unconnected data points and saying, here's what our approach should be. And so it was the first time that we had taken a holistic approach to saying, let's go out and do some voice of customer research. Let's figure out what is happening in the market, what the insurtechs are doing, and kind of what our competition is looking like, and what we can do in terms of addressing our shortcomings. And that small sprint turned into the last 3 years of working with this firm and with other studios to say, you know, we need to be outside of our own world to fully understand where our gaps are. And we need to have data-driven and a holistic, intentional approach to this kind of innovation that I meet with outside companies and invest in companies and am more externally facing than a lot of my colleagues. But nonetheless, there is a burning need to have some fundamental change and to have some in-house development. And that is something that's accessed better through the studio space because we can have an influence and share data in a way that's meaningful for us, and then we can adopt it early on than adopting a solution in the market and kind of thinking about something that's maybe less customized or less in line with our company.